All right, let's see. We should be back, I think. I don't know, but I think we ought to be back. Anywho, let me know what it looked like. All good. That'll work. That will work. Yeah, apparently what happened is in the startup, it's a computer. Something got mixed up in the startup. It happens. Modern technology. Modern technology ain't worth a damn, okay? And just ask Elon Musk. You know how many rockets he done blew up? I mean, just imagine how many rockets that dude done blew up. So, this technology stuff, it will do you in sometime. So, yeah, absolutely. Shit happens. And I'm surprised. I know what happened. Wow. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right. At least the shit came back. Wow. So anyway, maybe what I'll do is I will start this whole thing over again, because unfortunately maybe the audio and stuff was off on the videos I played too. This one I definitely want to play. I got to make sure all these settings are on. Yeah, okay. Let's try this video and tell me if this is a good comparison.
It's for 3, shorter, 176 pounds, heavier, 57, older, healthy, paler, beautiful, stupider, manly, goofier, huge, tinier, miserable, happier. Any questions?
Oh, wow. That setting even held. Wow, that's interesting. That is interesting. I just noticed something else, too. Okay. So, unfortunately, I did not get to change the latency settings. So, oh well. Shit happens. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and find that video clip and play it again, because I want to know what your opinion of that is, and you really got to hear it to have an opinion. So I'm going to play it again right quick, and I want your opinion on it right quick. Oh, wow. That takes a long time, too. Let me play this clip over again.
Adrian, starting with you, what's the latest on the ground that you're seeing there?
You see hundreds of people gathered here behind me. Many that I spoke with say they want to use their voice to fight for change. This rally, which will transition into a march later this afternoon, has been dubbed Workers Over Billionaires. And we're going to give you a 360 view. You see people holding signs with the message Workers Over Billionaires. Organizers tell me they don't want billionaires to determine the path forward for the country. But many here are also concerned about Trump's threats to send troops here to Chicago Chicago as this ongoing federal crackdown on crime continues ahead of anticipated National Guard members taking over the streets. Just a moment ago, I spoke with a couple in their 70s. The husband is 80 years old. He says he's not so much concerned about the future for him and his wife, but his grandchildren and others. Take a listen.
This is not the kind of country that we want to leave to our grandchildren. We see them every day, and they remind us that we should be here to stop this.
Are you concerned about the presence of possibly seeing tanks and National Guard members on our streets?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Chicago doesn't need that.
That's part of it. And the cruelty all around is just not America. He has no checks and balances except us.
The people.
That's it. We the people.
And the people that I've spoken with, including some city leaders, are concerned about striking the right tone and right balance. Yes, they're concerned about crime. No one wants to see crime on the rise in their city. The city here in Chicago is saying that overall violent crime is down. Folks here say, yes, they want to see crime prevention in place, but they say there's another way to fight crime. For example, I spoke with an organizer who operates a nonprofit on the city's south side, and some of those crime prevention measures that were in place were cut. He lost 1/3 of his staff and more than $500,000 in funding, and they're worried that that prevention that was already in place could be reversed. I'm going to send it back to you as this crowd is beginning to chant. You hear the chant. They're saying Trump has got to go. Mayor Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is expected to speak any minute. Back to you guys.
All right, Adrienne Broadus continuing to monitor those protests.
Okay. Now, hopefully, the audio matched the video, because I wanted to ask a question, and that question is, and pardon the background noise, my air conditioner decided to kick on. Didn't know it was that warm in the house. Anyway, do you think these protests, do you think the protests are going to do any good? Do you think the marches would do any good? That's my question. Do we think if you get protests all over the country, is that going to move MAGA or Trump or anybody in the administration at all? That's my question. Personally, I feel like I personally don't think the marches will have very much effect. You know, marches only work when they make somebody uncomfortable. They help draw attention to the situations. Yeah, you can draw attention to what's going on. Yes. But for me, what I'm thinking is, and I do see your point, drawing attention to what's going on is, yeah, that's important. That is important. Yeah. What I think is more effective, though, is when, and this is unfortunate, when a march makes a lot of people uncomfortable. See, tyrants and dictators, they don't pay attention until somebody's uncomfortable. You know, you can march all day, every day. But until there's a bus boycott or a store chain boycott, you know, you gotta mess up the church money. Until you fuck up the church money, ain't nobody, you know, all those people that you're trying to get this attention to, or get to pay this attention, they're not gonna move. You know, when you protest and march, that's to get somebody to move. We want someone to move. Now, if you march down the street and you bang your drum and you show your sign, everybody say, yeah, that was a march. But nobody was uncomfortable. Change only comes from someone being uncomfortable. You feel me? If I'm not uncomfortable, I'm not changing shit. If what I'm doing right now is cool with me, if you can't make me be uncomfortable. See, when they had the bus boycott, when they had that bus boycott, the folks were uncomfortable as all get out. See, when we not spending money, that makes the profiteers uncomfortable. When we're not doing something, if we weren't at work, if there was a nationwide strike, see, the profiteers would be very uncomfortable. And then it'd be some phone calls made. See? Remember back in the day when they had the steel worker strikes, and they had the nerve to call the Pinkertons to come, you know, and bust up the rallies, you know, back in the 20s or 30s or something. You know, they had the Pinkertons come bust up the rallies, you know, try and force people to go back to work. See, the profiteers were uncomfortable. That's when you're going to get something to change. That's when something is going to happen. Long as they sitting up there in the ivory towers watching the protests, I don't think nothing's going to happen. Now, that's just my opinion. That's just one guy's opinion. You know, so I guess we'll see. But I tell you what, one thing is for sure. And I believe this. If troops end up on the ground in the cities, something is going to happen. I think we can all agree on that one. Something is going to give. I don't think this administration gives a damn about people marching in the streets. We know the billionaires that run the corporations don't care. And, you know, you marching in the street on a holiday, it's crazy. It's going to take more pain from this administration being put upon the people in order for the people to make the administration uncomfortable. Yes, it's going to take That's an interesting way to put it. That was a very interesting way to put it. It's going to take pain from the administration in order for the people to put pain on the administration. Yeah, that's an odd way to put it, but yes, that makes all the sense in the world. But I'm thinking, the people themselves, how can I put it? There's people out there right now that's uncomfortable as hell. Okay? And I guess, see, the thing is, there's an urgency. See, we've got what should be an election coming up next year. And I don't think there's enough people alarmed about what's going on in places like Texas, like the gerrymandering, stealing the districts. Like the other day, Missouri, talking about doing the same thing. And they only got one district they could steal, but they intend to steal that one. We're going to see what we can do, These people intend to steal this next election. I don't think people are alarmed enough to understand. Let's take Texas, where they just stole 5 districts. Now, are the people in those districts, what is the leadership telling the people in those districts to do? If I were the leadership, at some point, we have to say, okay, we've got to do a national thing that is going to be legal and painful. Okay? Those are the 2 criteria. The Democrats have to come up with something, a thing that we can do that's going to be painful as hell, but legal. That's the only way out of this. It's got to be painful and legal. And I don't know, me personally, back in the Selma, Alabama days, it made the white people uncomfortable to see all the black people coming down the street or sitting in the restaurant. That made the white folks uncomfortable. That was painful for them. But that's not the thing that's painful today. Excuse me. That's not the thing. The thing today is got to be something that A, is legal, because long as it's legal, when they try to do something, then it's on. It's on and cracking. You can't stop me from doing something legal, okay? That's why I'm thinking like a national sit-in, to where nationally we just stop. Nationally, just quit. Today, don't go to work. Everybody Just don't go to work. Shut whatever the motherfucker you work for down. Hey, let MAGA pick up the slack. MAGA talks big shit. Let MAGA pick up the slack. Just call off work one day. That's legal. They can't do nothing. They can't fire you. One day. It's got to be something legal and painful. That's what's got to happen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's it. Anyway, one other thing I wanted to discuss, and that is Americans are not on that level. Man, I wish you hadn't said that. I wish you hadn't said that. Yeah. Yeah. Americans are not on that level. They are not. They're not aware of where this is going. And that's painful in itself. They're not aware of where this is going. So many people get up every day and just worry about their own little situation and got no clue that there is a bus coming down the street. The other thing is the lack of leadership on the liberal side. The leadership is so confounded. They're trying so hard to not be radical. They're trying so hard to be dignified. Wishful thinking. The leadership is trying to be dignified. They're trying to be, they're trying to fight with words. Now, I see Gavin Newsom stepping up, but Gavin Newsom is only Gavin Newsom. And he's got his, the thing he's doing makes sense. And he looks right now like a superstar among the rest of them. But there needs to be a thing. And I don't know who's going to come up with it, but there needs to be a radical thing that can be done legally and be painful as hell to the people that want the money, the profiteers. Now, we know the boycott of Target is killing Target. It's killing them. The stock is in the tank. The revenue gone. Their revenue is in the tank because the black dollar's not going in Target. Couldn't that be a national thing? Democrats, stop participating. Don't participate. Let MAGA pick up the slack. We're going to have a national day off. You know, and everybody just call off that day. Because your employer can't fire you for calling off one day. And have a sit-in. Can't fight with an undignified fight. Can't fight an undignified fight with dignity. Right. Yeah, well, I don't fight dignified anyway. So, when I fight, you subject to get one of your eyeballs sucked out. So, the thing is, there has to be a thing that forces the hand, you know? There is no reason that the typical businessman should be going along with what this fucker is doing. There's no reason that corporate America should be going along with what this guy is doing. And it's just because corporate America is not uncomfortable. And I guarantee you, when you make corporate America uncomfortable, oh, he'll know then. You know, when they turn against him, oh, he'll change. Right now, he's got them sucking up because he's wielding more power than us. He's wielding the big stick. And we down here with nothing. Told you that the Dems are wandering lost in the desert. Yeah, that seems be about right. It seems to be about right. I don't know, man. I'm still looking for the Dems to break out of this meek existence. They are leading a meek existence. They are unrecognizable. If you ask one of them, hey, what's the platform? What is the platform going to be moving forward? What's the solution? And all you hear is, we've been having meetings and we've written letters, very strong letters. And what he's doing is illegal, unconstitutional. No attack ads or nothing. No attack ads or nothing. No attack ads or nothing. Nothing. Crickets. Yeah, I'm with you, man, on that. Anyway, I'm going to move along because I got one more thing I want to discuss before we get out of here. I'm going to play this clip, and this is important. There's something that came to my attention, and I hadn't thought about this before. I've been busy thinking about our young folks running up and down the streets, but it just occurred to me after hearing this clip, whoa, we got a generation behind these clowns that's running up and down the streets today. These people that's standing around at the gas stations with their pants down around their ass, and these young women out here that's shaking their ass, twerking all over the place. It just occurred to me that these people have children. And I think these are the people that need to be concentrated on at this point. Because the MAGA influencers, the ones that are conning these young, stupid people out here right now in the voting for Trump, these fools are going to be teaching their kids. Check this video out.
Very carefully to something Frederick Douglass said years ago, but it's pertinent today. He said it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. That means that some of these young black male Trump supporters are too far gone to reach. So what must we do? Focus on our youth, our children. The younger, the better. Because your children are swimming in shark-infested waters called social media. And these sharks spread disinformation very effectively to confuse, to mislead, and to miseducate your kids about who they are and what we fought for. If you don't be careful, they'll have your children loving white supremacists while hating Dr. King, John Lewis, the Civil Rights Act, the Civil Rights Movement, the Voting Rights Act, and even rejecting their African heritage. And what is the result of that? Well, everything they need to grow up to become strong black men and women is gone. So you got to tell them that most of these sharks have black faces and they pose as pro-black, but they're really pro-black imposters. And that's real talk. These pro-black imposters, they push Trump, they push MAGA, they push this red pill nonsense, they push misogyny. Tell them any black person who supports Trump cannot be pro-black because Trump is anti-black, period. Tell them that many of these rappers who support Trump, they do so because he pardoned them or pardoned a friend of theirs. And they should not allow that to fool them. So teach your children how to spot these pro-black imposters. Tell them that education is their armor. Tell them that white supremacists and the pro-black imposters prey on young blacks who don't read. Make them read daily before anything else. So fill your home with black history books. Why? Because Trump and MAGA are ripping black history out of schools. So parents, if you don't step up, you could lose your child. And Trump and MAGA could steal the next generation of young blacks. And remember, stay woke.
That's what I'm talking about. It just occurred to me that the people we need to be targeting are the little kids, the little ones. These young ones running up and down the streets in their cars, smoking these blunts and all this shit. Forget them. You know, they lost. I saw a young lady come in the store the other day, and she got in line in front of me just before I got in line. And it surprised the hell out of me. Had a little girl with her, and she bought this pack of wraps. And for those who don't know what wraps are, those are the things that they roll marijuana up in now. And those things got so many different kind of chemicals in them. You know, they're cigar leaves, and they got all kind of different flavors. Well, you know those flavors are made with chemicals. And imagine what happens when you start burning the chemicals and ingesting the chemicals. Okay? So once you done started doing that, up here ain't no good anymore anyway. All right? So, you know, we've lost them. It's the kid. Now, the kid in school. That's the kid. That's the one that need to be concentrated on and taught right now. It's the small child, the school-age kid that we need to concentrate on. So if you know somebody with school-age kids. Start to communicate with them. Start to do some talking, because that's where, you want to make sure that one of the parents that this little kid got sucked in by some of these black people that's pushing Donald Trump, because he let a rapper out, or he came out with gold shoes, or got gold watch, or got the mug shot. See, he sucked in a lot of young black people with that bullshit. Okay? We need to make sure those that got sucked in ain't teaching the kids. Okay? That's what we need to do. We need to make sure those that got sucked into this bullshit ain't teaching that crap to the kids. Okay? Because that's probably where we're going to have to rebuild from. Now, that's my thought on that. Unfortunately, I had that little technical issue earlier. So it's close enough to 8 o'clock. What I'm going to do is go ahead and end it here and try and pick up again on Wednesday. I do want to play this one video again, because if it didn't sound right in the beginning, I wanted people to see it anyway, because, again, it made me laugh. When somebody want to whoop your ass, I don't know if you saw this, bruh, but this got me right here. When somebody want to whoop your ass, and he just determined to whoop your ass, man, I hate to have this dude on my back. Check him out. Oh, that gets to me. That gets to me. That brother was intent on inflicting some pain. He was intent on inflicting some pain. That is funny. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to call it good here and say, hey, we'll try this again Wednesday. Unfortunately, again, I had that little technical issue. It is what it is. But I appreciate you hanging in there with me, man, and enduring this. I got a feeling it was just a glitch that happened, when the computer started up. And once it restarted, it corrected itself. So it's one of those things. Anyway, I'll see you Wednesday. And maybe there'll be some new developments by then. At any rate, stay up, enjoy the rest of this day, and take it easy.